in front of the cell and opened it. Mama sent me a card with a picture of some white people on the front of it. I guess she just can't perceive that I don't want anything to do with her white god. I am still confined to this cell. It is 9 by 4. I have left it only twice in the month I've been here for 10 minutes each time, in which I was allowed to shower. Did I tell you? They have assured me that I have not been given a bad conduct report. It is just that they felt I was about to do some wrong. It's always suspicions. What I was supposed to have done or was about to do, never what they caught me doing as it should be. The last time I was in a cell like this 3 months, from February to May, 1964, for reasons that are not altogether clear yet. I have had no serious infraction in almost 3 years now. You know I had at least $125 on me when I was arrested in 1960 and they took it. I assume it was to cover the $70 that was missing as the result of the robbery. So I'm thinking that I shouldn't owe them too much more. You know, in fact, I'm fast awakening to the idea that I may not owe anyone anything and that they even might owe me. I have given 4.5 years of life, during which I have had to accept the unacceptable, for $70 that I didn't take. I protest. I protest. If you knew how much I protested, how seriously I felt about the matter, you and Mother and anyone who has a natural affinity with me would surely be trying to convince me that you were on my side. The events of the Congo, Vietnam, Malaya, Korea, and here in the US are taking place all for the same reason. The commotion, the violence, the struggles in all these areas and many more spring from one source: the evil and malign, possessive and greedy Europeans. Their abstract theories, developed over centuries of long usage, concerning economics and sociology take the form that they do because they suffer under the mistaken belief that a man can secure himself in this insecure world best by ownership of great personal, private wealth. They attempt to impose their theories on the world for obvious reasons of self-gain. Their philosophy concerning government and economics has an underlying tone of selfishness, possessiveness, and greediness because their character is made up of these things. They can't see the merit in socialism and communism because they do not possess the qualities of rational thought, generosity, and magnanimity necessary to be part of the human race, part of a social order, part of a system. They cannot understand that from each according to his abilities, to each according to his needs is the only way man can live together without chaos. There is a species of fly that lives only 4 hours. If one of these flies, June fly I believe they are called, if one of these flies was born at 12 o'clock midnight in darkness and gloom, there would be no way possible for him in his lifetime to ever understand the concept of day and light. This is the case with the Europeans. They are small men with their petty intrigues and prejudices. In shallow men the fish of small thoughts cause much commotion, in magnanimous oceanic minds the whales of inspiration cause hardly a ruffle. Mao Zedong. George. February, 1965. Dear Mother, I promised myself that I wouldn't write you again from here. I only take pen in hand when feeling moves me to do so. My feeling seems to be wasted on you. You know beyond question what my feelings are. I never think of anything trite or inconsequential anymore. I've forgotten the feeling of joy. I've long since had my last smile wrung unceremoniously from my hollow soul. I write home to you people, my people, the closest of my kind for understanding and advice. I attempt to advise you in areas of which experience has made me better informed. I get no understanding. If I followed the advice I receive it would only serve to enslave me further to this madness of our times. My advice falls upon deaf ears. This is my reason for not wanting to write. What can I say further? It is clear you don't love me when you refuse to aid me the only way you can, the only way I expect. By telling me I am right and that I have your blessings. You see, I am being frank. Though I care about your feelings, I care more for your well-being. There are things brewing now that could ruin you completely if, when they break, you are in sympathy with wrong. Robert is the same way. He pretends or he may earnestly not feel the effects of the circumstances I attempt to explain. He is sympathetic to wrong. But I can overlook him more readily because of his almost complete lack of mental training. His past experiences have been very limited regarding the stimulus of academic learning. He is innocent. But not so with you, though your exposure was not all that it should have been. You are equipped with the basic fundamentals needed to guide one to the truth, should it be truth one favors. When I consider my own experience bought at the cost of these terrible years, supplemented in love and concern by your own experience and learning, what am I to think but that something is radically wrong, that I am being betrayed and have been betrayed? The question is one of grave proportions to me. I cannot stress this point too clearly. I mean to make sure this doesn't happen to me again or to my seed. If a person doesn't stand with me, he stands against me to my way of thinking. I feel that you have failed me, Mama. I know that you have failed me. I also know that Robert has never held an opinion of his own. You have influenced his every thought ever since you have known him. You have always had the running of things. You have done him a disservice. You are doing John a disservice now. You are a woman, you think like a bourgeois woman. This is a predatory man's world. The real world calls for a predatory man's brand of thinking. Your way of viewing the world is necessarily bourgeois and feminine. How could I, Robert, John, or any of the men of our kind accomplish what we must as men if we think like bourgeois women, or let our women think for us? This is what's happening all over this part of the world. Robert should have been stronger, should have had more time and freedom of movement. So should grandfather, and great-grandfather. But they didn't, and it isn't their fault. The cruelest and most suppressive treatment has always fallen to the males because they have not that tender defense the woman is born with. So understand me once and for all. I speak no further on the matter. You conceived and Robert sired a man. Nothing can turn me from my resolve. Make no further attempts. I am going to give my all to this thing, and if the victory is to fall to me, you and people like you must stand beside me, not lean or lie on me. Robert tells me you are sick. I am writing to ask about the nature of your illness. I know a hope will not aid you any, but by whatever gods there be I hope and wish you well. There is much sickness and tears to come, some will fall to me also I guess, but my condition can only improve from where I stand now. Fare you well, son. February 25, 1965. Dear Mother, your letter reached me late for some unknown reason. Has your health improved? I think you should relax, all has not been said or done yet. You are a little confused now for understandable reasons, things will be made clear before long. I should be out of here this year. I have complied with all of their demands, group counseling, school, clean conduct record. I go to board next time they meet. You could start writing letters to the adult authority now, the more the better. You know what to say, that I was young then and you see a vast change in my character now. Also say that you can and will help me with a place to stay. I asked Robert to send me some shoes. Check with him on it. They have to be sent from Sears by the salesman, cost no more than $25, have the price or sales slip in the box, and in the way of type and size I want some old folks comforts with high tops. 9. Be nothing else, my feet need therapy in the worst way. Soon as you can on this, I wanted to get rid of these corns and sores before I get out. I'm glad you weren't a singer or dancer. Pop was wise in that. The image held of the blacks in this part of the world is that we are proficient in but one or two areas only, the service trades or the physical entertainment fields, singers, dancers, boxers, baseball players. Would you like to support the theory that we are good for nothing but to serve or entertain our captors? In the society of our fathers and in the civilized world today, women feel it their obligation to be ever yielding and obedient to their men. Life is purposely made simple for them because of their nature, and they are happy. When the women outnumber the men in the black societies, the men take as many wives as they can afford, and care for them all equally. In the white for some nebulous reason the man can take only one, the rest are left to become prostitutes, nuns, or lesbians. In the civilized societies the women do light work, bear children, and lend purpose to the man's existence. They train children in the ways of wisdom that history has shown to be correct. Their job is to train the children in their early life to be men or women, not confused psychotics. This is a big job, to train and propagate the race. Is this not enough? The rest is left to the men, government administration, the providing of means of subsistence, and defense, or maintenance of life and property against any who would deprive us of it, as the barbarian has and is still attempting to do. The white theory of the emancipated woman is a false idea. You will find it, as they are finding it, the factor in the breakdown of the family unit. Mama, all this struggle is unnecessary. Let's not create an atmosphere of competition among ourselves as they have done. Life is too short. There is too much for us to restore to its proper order and we're too wise. What do you think made the white guy write that life is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing? He felt frustrated and stupid. Son,